That's offensive. No one came for Mike's defense. Man, you should be offended.
I am.
You should be offended. Yep.
White is a color.
It's a color. I looked it up. Well, actually, Job looked it up and he said it's a color.
See?
I was like, oh, okay.
But
when you go buy, paper, I bought some cardstock. I bought some color paper. Guess what color wasn't in there? White.
Really?
It wasn't.
Because it's offensive.
Oh, okay. I don't know what's offensive.
I'm surprised they call it colored paper.
Look, I'm not.
Hey, welcome to the Not Offended podcast. I believe this is episode 10. Yes, we're officially double digits. Your boy Anthony here, known as Conservative Chicano. I'm next to the token.
It's the shirt.
I'm next to the agent. We got the token and the bishop over there. I'm already messing things up. I mean, we got a hot one today, so we're just going to jump right into it. Hey, guys, I hate to put you on the spot again because last week was brutal. But it seems like our last podcast was a little controversial. The baby mama drama really got you guys in trouble. I just want to go on the record that it got you guys in trouble. But
We're glad that we could make you look good.
Hey, for the record, look, I go check the tape. At one point, I
Video don't lie.
said, no jokes aside. Hey, I was to put all the jokes aside. I quoted scripture, honor your mother and your father.
People were so offended by that.
Yeah.
But before that, they weren't hearing that.
You know what? Actually, I'm offended. You know what I'm offended about? I was worried about the white joke I told, and no one came to your defense. That's offensive. No one came for Mike's defense. Man, you should be offended.
I am.
You should be offended. Yep.
White is a color.
It's a color. I looked it up. Well, actually, Job looked it up and he said it's a color.
See?
I was like, oh, okay.
But
when you go buy, paper, I bought some cardstock. I bought some color paper. Guess what color wasn't in there? White.
really?
It wasn't.
Because it's offensive.
Oh, okay. I don't know what's offensive.
I'm surprised they call it colored paper.
Look, I'm not.
No, you didn't. Bro, okay, listen, I'm trying to clear the drama now.
We're adding more to the drama right now.
I'm trying to clear the drama. I'm just going to go on record. I'm going to speak for all of us. Right now. We love baby mamas. That's all. That's all we need to say.
Yeah.
That's all we need to say in honor of Mother's Day. We love baby mamas. Dude, don't listen to these guys. We believe they should be supported. We believe we should go the extra mile for them. Just that we're gonna lay that one to rest. Okay, we're gonna move right along before you guys start saying something else and getting us into trouble. I talked yesterday about small groups as well as loving your neighbor. But I really want to hammer home something. I just want to hear some thoughts from you guys. I said yesterday, and it's not me. I literally heard this from Pastor Chris Hodges. Don't do life alone. It's actually in the ARC, an association I belong to, Associated Related Churches. That's the ARC. They always say that to me as pastors, and they always say it to you guys. What does it mean to you when I say don't do life alone? What exactly does that mean to you? We'll start with you, Bishop. We're going to switch things up. What does that mean to you, don't do life alone?
Having someone else, other group of people, or even a person who has the same mindset or same goals of living for Christ, or maybe doing ministry. Especially even doing ministry, I think why the ARC pushes it so much. There's sacrifices you have to make. And so you want people around you who are going to support you in that and say, no, it's worth it. It's worth to make that sacrifice. It's worth giving up those stings to keep going with that. Some people will look at you and say, that's ridiculous. What are you doing? That's crazy. Go find a regular 9 to 5. You can have a good life, love Jesus at the same time. But no, you want people there to support you, say, hey, you can push through.
What about you, Token? What's up? You are the small groups pastor, so talk to us.
Yeah, don't do life alone. I think that finding people in the same season of life for you, as you, with you, and then also finding people maybe ahead of you. Helps. So it helps tremendously. I mean, being able to have conversation with people. I mean, I look back on my life pre-Jesus and all those times where I felt like I was by
those
myself.
were sinful Saturdays, right?
I don't even remember. Sure. Yeah. I'm sure they were.
Yeah.
And just feeling like I didn't have anybody I could lean on, or even when I was trying to come out of the world and follow Jesus,
right.
Like there was a couple years where it's just like, how do I do that? How do I even navigate that? I don't even know what it's supposed to look like.
Sure.
And so I think about even the stage of life that I'm in now, how I love being able to look up to you and look up to other people whose kids are a little bit farther along in life. And I don't feel like I'm doing this all by myself.
Right.
where it's like doing life alone. It's like you're constantly trying to navigate every area of your life by yourself.
Yeah.
And you never have anybody who you can lean on. But when you do life with others, you feel like you're not all by yourself.
What about you? What about you, Agent? What do you think about that? Don't do life alone.
To me, I hear get you a spiritual friend.
Ooh.
You know, somebody that can speak into your life, that you allow them to speak into your life. Because if I just have friends that, you know, think alike or is telling me, you know, it's okay to do those things, then, you know, I can fall off. But if I have that spiritual friend that can slap me around a little bit, right? If I'm going off course, it's going to keep me on track. And so, you know, being hand in hand together and doing life together.
So I have a question that I want to piggyback off that with. We've all played sports here, and I wonder what gets lost in the church when in sports we all know it's a team sport, right? There's team, and then usually you have a partner. I think about all the drills. Even when it came to stretching, you had to have a partner, right? What gets lost in the church that we think we could do this by ourselves when everything else in life teaches you need to have a partner? Even in the world, I had a partner or partners in crime, right? I had partners that I did these things with. What gets lost in the church where all of a sudden it's like we flip a switch and we have this like John Wayne mentality, right? Of I'm the Lone Ranger or whatever. I could do it. I'm the Maverick. What switches? What happens, you know, in the church that we don't think partners? Anybody want?
I think a big part of it is shame. You don't want anyone else to know your weaknesses. When you play sports, the tapes don't lie. They will say that tape don't lie. People are going to see your weaknesses, so you better get better.
Yes.
So you better team up with someone and get better, or you either get exposed.
Okay.
A lot of times in the church, people just want to hide it. There's ways you can hide. You can come in and act like you're holy, act like all this stuff, or you can admit your faults, work with someone to actually get better.
Yeah.
But a lot of times you're just like, man, I don't want them to know that I have this going on. No one else understands. No one else has the same struggle when all these other people have the same struggle. Otherwise, you just hide it. And you don't want other people to know your weaknesses in that way. I know a big part of being at Adventure is like, hey, you're in process. You don't have to be perfect. And so we try to teach that all the time. You don't have to be perfect. Just willing to be in process. Let someone speak into your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think sometimes your pride takes over, and you know you feel, or you believe a lie that other people don't struggle with things. So you go into a church and you feel like everybody's perfect except for you, and so then the shame creeps in. And you're like, well, then I can't share. I can't let people know I'm struggling in my marriage. I can't let people know that I'm struggling in my addiction. I can't. Right? You fill in the blank, and so you end up just secluding to yourself, and you don't let people in on what's going on in life because you feel like everybody else has got it together.
Well, in full transparency, right, Bill? Full transparency, like we all hang out outside of the podcast too, and I think I know we do life together, right? So we don't do life alone. But in full transparency, I think what's grown the friendship is the fact that we don't have secrets. We don't compare. We literally lead with our insecurities. We lead with our deficiencies. Like we're open to talk about it because we know there's a brotherhood. I'm like, hey, I'm not going to kick you when you're down. We're going to help you to get better. We're going to help you to finish this race that Jesus has called you to do well. And so do you want to speak on that, how we do have that transparency here? Like if we are struggling or whatever, there's no shame in this group, right?
Look, I will, I'll start with this. It's okay to be vulnerable. And I love the fact that you from the pulpit, speak on your vulnerability.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you speak to the hearts of people and you can connect with folks in that way. And so if our pastor, Pastor Anthony and our pastors, Pastor Mike and Deshaun can be vulnerable from the stage, then so can I.
Right.
And so, that helps me walk in my life that, like Mike said, I don't have to be perfect.
Right.
And so I can go hand in hand. I can connect with other folks in this way, and it's okay. I have vulnerabilities too, and I mess up. So
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's important, right? I think it's important. And let me just speak on that for a second before we get to the next topic. This is the Not Offended podcast. I'm telling you, the fastest about 45 minutes of your life right here. One of the reasons I did that is I think it was 2013, somewhere around there. I had never really went to therapy before. I'd never really seen a therapist or a psychologist, anything like that. It was kind of taboo, especially, I can only speak for me, but in my context and my culture, it just has never really been talked about. And when I talked about it yesterday in the first service, not the second service. I think I mentioned it, but I didn't really go into detail. But I had what people would consider a mild nervous breakdown. I called it, they call it a train wreck. And when Pastor Ron recommended I go see a therapist, it really made me feel a certain way. And I was really nervous because I was like, man, they make fun of pastors who go see therapists because the pastor's supposed to have it all together. And what's crazy is I just decided, I don't know I didn't even hear this from anybody, but here's what I decided. I decided that I'd rather tell people I'm seeing a therapist before someone saw me walking into a therapist's office. So I just said, you know what, skip it. If people are gonna leave or judge me, let me just give them the rocks to throw right now. And so I just started telling people, and it had the reverse effect. Everybody had this respect for me. They're like, oh my gosh, if you could do it, I could do it. And it was, I had to fight my pride every time to be able to lead with that.
Yeah.
And now I look back at it, it was the best decision I ever made, was to go ahead and lead with that and say, hey, listen, I can be vulnerable. I can talk about, my past experiences and the things that, that almost wrecked me. Right. I mean, that literally almost wrecked me. But because of my therapist and Pastor Ron, literally, I tell everybody all the time, it put Humpty Dumpty back together again. And then I found Freedom Ministries, and you guys all know the story. So I just want to encourage everybody, if you are struggling out there with anything, actually, it doesn't matter. It's from the least to the greatest, right? From small anxiety to an eating disorder, whatever it is. If you're struggling, I'm encouraging right now, don't do life alone. You are one conversation away from your freedom journey. That's what I like to tell people. You're one conversation away. Because the truth is, we all struggling. It's just we're all struggling with something a little different, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I want to talk about something else as we transition a little bit. Only because I feel like this is the Agent Bill's defining moment right here. His defining moment here.
Okay, let's go.
You went on record last week and you're like, man, I hope Chris Paul doesn't make it to the playoffs. So go ahead, get your brag on real quick. Go ahead. What happened yesterday? Phoenix Suns are officially
Suns got
ousted.
blown out, and I was loving every bit of it.
How'd your boy Chris Paul do?
Yeah, terrible game, which we knew. Okay, so here's my beef with Chris
Yeah,
Paul.
we're all dying to know because you went hard on him.
Because he's free from scrutiny, right?
Okay,
Every other
okay.
superstar, right, gets scrutinized, but
True.
Chris Paul. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because he's best friends with LeBron, right?
okay.
And so he gets a pass. Maybe it's his State Farm commercials. I don't know.
Hey.
Right? But he certainly has gotten a pass.
And you're mad. He's got a pass.
Right, he doesn't have a championship, and he's blown leads in the playoffs, and he's lost. Why
Bishop's
is he
over here
having
shaking
this?
his head. We're going to give Bishop a chance to respond here in a second. But I agree with you. Listen. I'm not a big basketball guy, but you're right. He doesn't get much shade at all. Like, when I think about Chris Paul, I honestly, this is funny, but I have nothing negative to say.
Yeah, because nobody thinks about Chris Paul. Like,
It's
just Chris
okay.
Mike.
Mike
Mike is a
now.
believer
Yeah,
over
there you
here.
go.
Okay, Mike, speak on it. And then we're going to let Bishop
No,
follow
I got
up.
nothing to say. Chris Paul's like, I mean, if you listen to the NBA guys don't like Chris Paul.
Oh,
That's true.
The other players talk bad about Chris
the
Paul.
old school players maybe do, like the older players maybe respect
Maybe.
them. But some of the younger guys,
Maybe,
not
but
at all.
but if it, yeah,
He gets roasted all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know, like people hate on him all the time.
No. I'll give you a
the media,
comparison.
the
Okay.
media gives Chris Paul a pass because he comes across as a nice guy. I think he was the president or something like that of the Players Association,
Okay.
or he was up there.
No, he was, yeah.
But so like that in that world they do.
Okay, I
give
gotta
him a
say,
pass.
I was hoping you were gonna ask me this question because we don't know, guy. We don't know what questions and stuff is gonna come up.
this
right,
is
on
the
the
fun
podcast.
part of my job
Okay.
right here.
You got notes.
And so
about
now I
Chris
got notes.
Paul?
I got notes. I was hoping this was gonna come up. I took notes.
Bro, this is crazy. All right.
So I'm gonna read two stats from two players.
Oh,
okay?
he pulled up stats.
Career stats.
Okay.
Okay. Player 1, 23 points a game, 7.5 rebounds a game, 8.5 assists. Okay, 23, 7.5, 8.5. Player 2, 18 points, 4.5 rebounds, 9.5 assists. Okay, one of them is Chris Paul, one of them is Russell Westbrook.
Ooh. Well, Russ has definitely got the
Well, they
23
both
points.
don't have rings, so
But who gets scrutinized? That's my
Russell,
point.
Russell, for sure.
Right?
He's the 23 points. So
He's
he
the
shoots
23
80 shots.
points.
Yeah.
He's 7.5, 8.5. He's got better numbers than Chris Paul. But
the way you handle
player?
the way you handle the media is how you get scrutinized.
Yeah, and Westbrook didn't win as much as Chris Paul did.
He went to the finals.
Yeah, one time with Durant.
With OKC. And
Well,
Harden.
actually, I don't
And
know if it was the
Harden.
finals. He went to the Western Conference Finals.
No, he went to the finals with the Thunder with Durant. My point is this: look, you hear all the negative stuff about
It's true.
Westbrook.
I'd
You don't
rather
hear
have
nothing
Chris
but-
Paul way more than Westbrook.
So,
Oof.
wow.
Westbrook is not a winner.
Neither is Chris
Play-
Paul.
he plays hard. Every team he's going to, they always win. Their winning percentage goes up significantly. He going with the Phoenix, it went up. When he goes with the Clippers, it went up. He's a winner. Not
I
everyone
wouldn't
can win a
call him
championship.
No, I don't think anybody's ever called him a
He
winner.
can't. Well, his knock is that he can't stay healthy in the playoffs.
That is true.
He broke.
Hand
He broke his
hamstring,
arm
yeah,
and he broke his
yeah.
like elbow. He had like some or broke his hand. I think against the
Was it like a
Blazers.
shooting thumb or something? Yeah,
I mean,
he had something too. Yeah,
he's had like he gets hurt. That's why I was like, hey, well, at least he played. He had
Okay,
a
so-
bad game, but he didn't get hurt.
That was a
I like
terrible-
this, but I think now's the time we have to dig ourselves in and talk about who's going to be in the finals. I'm sticking because the Celtics
Oh, come on.
took out Giannis. I just want to throw that out there, but I'm going with the Celtics Warriors in the finals. And I was taught a long time ago, don't vote with your heart, right? You got to vote with who you think would win. I do think the Warriors would push it to 7 and actually win. That's not a knock on my Celtics. I hope I'm wrong. But if it goes to 7, I can see the Dubs winning. If it goes to 6, I give my team a chance. I give them a shot. But okay, let's start over here. Who do you got in the finals now then?
Well, I had Giannis.
You did.
They went to 7, and so
They got blown out.
They got blown out. They got blown out, but
I think it was 81 or
I'm
83
still singing
points. That's good.
Warriors. I love to see Warriors, even though Luka's a beast.
Hey, Luka's good.
Luka's a
MVP.
beast.
I woke up
Look.
this morning. He's the MVP,
The
right? They
NBA
said-
does not want to see Dallas in the
They don't.
championship.
They don't. But
Why?
That's,
TV.
yeah, that's TV.
Come on, Mark
TV
Cuban,
ratings.
eccentric owner. We ain't liking it.
Yeah, the Dallas, Fort Worth area would love it. Other than that,
Oh, okay.
nobody wants that.
So who you going?
Yeah,
with?
so
Who you going-
Golden State. I don't know, man. I don't care who comes out of the East at this point.
But you got to give us a team. You want the Heat or you want the Celtics? What you want?
All right, Celtics Warriors would be more interesting to me.
All right, I made it. I convinced
There you
somebody.
go.
I
All right,
convinced
there
somebody.
you
This is good. It's good. Bishop, go ahead. Run it back. What you got?
I think either the Celtics or the Heat will win it, the championship. Who will come out of Golden State and Dallas? I don't know.
What
Golden
makes you-
State's too up and down.
Okay, what
so
makes you think the Heat or the Celtics? That's interesting.
their defense is really good, both of them.
So you're going with the philosophy defense is going to win the championship.
Yeah, they're both good. So
I said it just a second ago. They held the Bucks in this last game. I think it was either 81 or 83. Matter of fact, when the starters went out, I believe it was only 77 points. When the starters went out, and there was only 3 or 2 minutes left to go. What an accomplishment! What an
I
accomplishment!
mean, I would like to see the Heat in Golden State. That's what I want to see.
That'd be good. That'd be good. What you got, Mike?
Heat and Golden State. Well, I gotta say, both coaches in the Eastern Conference Finals
Here we go with the Portland
are
shout out
from
again.
Portland. Shout out. There it is. Ime, Eric Spoelstra.
Yep.
Eric Spoelstra went to the University of Jesuit, right? Ime went to Jeff. There we go.
Okay.
All right. Okay. I'm going. I'd like to see Ime win it. I'd like to. So he's the coach of Boston. So I'd like to see Boston win it.
First year coach too. Let's get that out there.
Yeah, first year coach.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
great.
mean, and he's a grinder. Like he's small school guy. So anyway, I'd like to see him win it. I'm going Boston and Golden State. Boston wins it.
Give me games. How many games?
Boston wins in 6.
Yeah, that's what I feel. If it went to a 7th game, the experience of the Warriors. That's why I said if it went to 7, the experience of the Warriors.
Yeah, I'm not sold on the guys outside the big 3 for the Warriors. I mean, Poole's super good, but like, is Clay like the old Clay or the new Clay? Like,
I don't know.
I don't
I don't
know.
trust him.
Huh?
I don't trust him.
I don't either. He put up 30, and then like another game that series, he had like 6 or something.
Right. Okay, this is going to be good. So Friday, I was trying to enjoy some time to myself, a little day off, a little, hang out around the house action. And we were going to celebrate my daughter's birthday with some like Korean barbecue. It's supposed to be good. And so my father-in-law was coming up, was going to hang out, shoot the breeze. And my phone starts blowing up about what happened Thursday night. And apparently Anthony and his posse, I thought we established, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I thought, King James himself established that anytime you use the word posse, it is negative. It is a negative connotation, right? Like we're not supposed to say the word posse anymore, but apparently as long as you say it about me, you're allowed to use it. But the rumor on that tweet was Anthony and his posse came and was making threats to James Martinez, and Miguel said he was there. And so what I thought we would do, because this was Miguel's tweet, of course, he just loves, I don't even have Twitter. So, I mean, they're calling me and asking me to verify this. And I'm like, he wasn't even there. They're like, okay, well, we got to make some more phone calls. But let's talk about that. Let's set the record straight. I did take a video. I was there at the State of the City. You had another little online news source saying that I was walking around mumbling to myself and looking distraught. I don't know, they made it seem like I had like this roid rage or something, like, like Hulk smash. And really, I was shooting the breeze. I was meeting other people. I said hi to other council members. So I have no idea what this person was talking about, but I was really looking for some food, if we're being honest. I think everybody knew that. I was looking for some food. I was hungry. But let's set the record straight. Sorry, Bill, you were not there. The one time you're not there, we get into this drama.
Yeah, exactly.
For those of you who don't know football, in every football team, the coach always has another coach, and he's called the get back coach. And what he does is you'll see him grab the coach and say, hey, you're about to get us a penalty. You need to get back. Or he'll tell the rest of the team, y'all need to get back. Bill is the get back coach. I come up with an idea, and Bill will either say no or go. And so Bill is the get back coach. We just want to throw it out there. But I don't know. Mike, why don't you talk us through the events of the State of the City event that transpired last Thursday, so we can get the audience the real truth out there instead of leading it up to Twitter and news outlets. Okay, go ahead, give them the story.
All right, so the backstory.
Backstory, give it to him.
Well, you could check it was. I liked how this happened, like so sequentially nicely.
Bro, that's
I don't
a
even
big
know,
word, bro.
I don't even know the
know
word.
if he used it right. Did he use it right?
I don't know.
It
sounded good. Let it flow.
Let's roll with it.
Okay, but I know that last Monday I talked about how,
and that's the podcast, right?
On
So
the
y'all
podcast.
need to go back and watch the podcast from last Monday. Yeah, go ahead.
I talked about how I had been trying to get hold of this person named James Martinez. He's a trustee on the board of Office of Education, Fresno Office of Education, and how he hadn't been getting back to me. So we go to the state. It's called the State of the City.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mayor Dyer, State of the City. And we walk in, and right away, we see a friend of ours. We're chopping it up. We're on the concourse, like right about first base. And we look over, and Tyler Mackey, who organizes the protest, is there with my boy James Martinez.
We got a picture of it.
Right? And then they're standing with Miguel and then like a couple other people. So they're all hanging out. So we're literally there like 3-5 minutes tops.
Maybe, yeah.
So we look over, and they're looking at us, and they're pointing. So obviously they wanted to say hi. So we walked over there to say hi.
Just for the record, tune right here. I actually told Mike, I said, you know what? They've been out there protesting us all this time. We've never introduced ourselves. Let's at least go introduce ourselves so it's not awkward when we see each other in Walmart. You know what I'm saying? And I said, also, Mike, you've been wanting to get a hold of James. Just let him know that. Just say, hey, you've been calling him or whatever, and let's see if he'll actually be able to talk to us since our kids live in the district where he represents. So Mike said, that's a great idea. So we go walking over. By the way, Miguel isn't there. It's just the James and Tyler and, I don't know, some assistants or whatever, but go ahead.
Yeah. So as we're walking over, imagine they're behind home plate. We're at first base.
We're walking
on
over.
the concourse. We walk over as it's the three of us, and it's Oos, right? Big Ben's with us.
That's it.
And
Part of the posse.
Yeah, who's all of? I mean, he's a big boy.
He's big.
3 bills. You
Easy.
know, 6'1", 6'2".
Easy.
Not easy 3 bills.
Easy 3 bills. All right, so Deshaun's coming to his defense. He 285 is some change.
Hey, but like, I'm telling you right now, if you're under 225, everybody that big is 3 bills.
So tell him what happened. Yeah.
So we're walking towards him, and Miguel is walking past us.
Okay.
I look at him. I
never even saw him though.
Okay, I look at him. I say, "What's up?" He says, "What's up?" He keeps walking. So Pastor Anthony's in front of me. He walks right up to Tyler Mackey, shakes his hand, goes right next to him to James Martinez, shakes his hand, walks away. I shake Tyler Mackey's hand. How you doing? I shake James Martinez's hand. I looked him in the eye. I said, "Hey, I've been trying to get a hold of you." Oh, no, sorry. I said, "Hey, I called you."
Right.
He said, "You should have left a message." I said, "I did. Check again." And I walked away. While that's happening, Miguel bellied back, and he's behind me talking to Ben. And Deshaun's right next to him.
How far are you away, Deshaun? Like how many yards are you guys behind us? I never even saw you. I didn't even know you walked over.
I don't know. Well, because I was trying to say no. Let's not go.
Deshaun's honorary job is to be the get back coach number 2. Okay, that's
But
good.
you and Mike just took off.
But I can't get a hold of you on the phone. You won't call me back. Like,
Right. So how far were you behind us? Like 5 yards, 10 yards?
I don't even know because at that point I was
Because you couldn't hear this conversation.
No, I have no idea. By the time I got there, you guys were turning around, so I never said anything to them.
Because that's how quick of the conversation
Because
was. Yeah.
Ben was in front of me, he slowed down. He slowed down a little bit because Miguel, as he walked past you guys, Miguel starts staring down Ben, and they're both staring at each other, probably like this far apart. And then Miguel, I wanted to get Ben, so I wanted to write down what actually he said, because I couldn't hear it either, because it's loud in there. So what Ben said, he was saying, hey, you got something to say? You got something to say? And Ben is shocked. He was like, whoa, this dude's a council member, and he's saying this to me like I'm shocked. It's just like, I don't know if Miguel wanted him to hit him or what's going on.
Let's give the tail of the tape. Can we give the tail of the tape of what we're doing here? So, how tall is Miguel?
Straight out of Mendota.
Okay, yes.
5'5" Miguel Arias, right?
Yeah. So I don't know, Ben, straight from America Samoa, right? 6'2", 300, coming in. Like, really, why are you gonna go to the biggest guy there and say, if you got something to say it?
And then, hey, where I'm from, okay, that's provoking violence.
That is provoking.
Okay.
That is what we call fighting words.
Okay,
right there.
because they said I was provoking violence.
Right. By the way, can you tell everybody why you looked him in the eyes? I mean, he said in his tweet, he looked me in the eyes and he said, we know where you live, or some of that nature.
Okay, so about the whole, did anybody got it what it said? I know I could bring it up real quick.
I'm trying to look for it.
Okay,
I don't know.
he said, this dude says something along the lines of,
Here, I got it for you.
no.
There you go.
He said, we are watching you and coming for you. Fool, if I wanted you, I'd have had you a long time ago. Fresno's too small.
I'm telling you. But
Like,
we
when
are
you
watching.
think-
Hold on,
yeah.
Liam Neeson. I will hunt you
down.
I will
What
find
is
you.
taking is
And I will
taking?
kill you.
I will find you. What?
Taking part 4 of the Fresno edition. I mean, come
So
on.
I guess looking another man in the eyes and shaking their hand is like taboo. Like you shouldn't do that.
I was always taught that's what you do. Never shake a man's hand sitting down. Always look him in the eyes, have a conversation. I mean, you just asked him.
I said,
I called you.
No, I told him straight up. I shook his hand. Okay, I didn't even do like a squeeze or anything.
Okay.
I just shook his hand.
Nice
I said,
handshake.
hey, I called you. You should have left a message. I did.
Check it.
Check again. And I walk away.
Okay, but here's the deal.
How threatening is that?
I don't know, but here's my question. Why tweet about it? Why talk about we were having a good time? I just want to know, Councilman Arias, did you stay for the whole event? Because I stayed for the whole event. I mean, I literally.
Well, we left
watched
when they
the whole
started popping bottles and drinking.
We did, but the burger bar was open, and I did grab me. Actually, Ben went and got it for me, and I was very thankful. But I had to get a burger before I left because they were talking about how good the burgers were. But my point is, we listened to all the speeches. We were there the entire time. I just wonder if Councilman Arias actually heard the mayor's speech. I'm just asking. I don't know because I didn't go looking for him. But I'm just saying we were having a great time at the State of the City too. But here's the kicker out of all this. Here's the kicker. By the way, thank you everybody for tuning into the Not Offended podcast. Apparently more people listen to it than we know because people are always coming up to me going, man, great podcast. Thanks for the shout out. Thanks for this. That's what we do. So here's the kicker. I'm trying to leave this event. I'm riding in the passenger seat of my best friend's ride, right? And I'm riding in the passenger seat. And then another pastor yells out the window. He goes, Anthony, what you doing? I said, well, Pastor, I'm doing my best to stay out of trouble. He goes, well, that's hard for you to do because a certain council member already came up to me talking about you were making threats.
Oh,
and I'm like, really? He went and told my dad on me? Come on, man. Let's be real about it. I got one father and he ain't even here, okay? He lives in Nebraska. So it's like, I was like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
We gonna go tell the principal? I mean, if you got something to say to me, come find me, holler at your boy, you know where I'm at, right? It's like, are we really doing this? So I wake up to the tweets, right? And then I don't even have Twitter. Someone has to send them to me. And I'm like, this is what you gotta do. You gotta do it. And here's why, y'all, here's why. Drum roll. The city that we live in is starting to turn into a novella, right? Called the novella. Because all of a sudden, what happens on Friday that's significant? Now I'm just speculating. This is just a hypothesis, right? I'm just throwing it out there. But the real story was going to happen. And the real story is, shout out to Councilman Bredefeld, always keeping it #facts, because everybody was questioning, comes out with this statement that our boy, Dougie Fresh Sloan, right, the used to be city attorney, is getting extorted. I don't know about you guys, but I'm tuning in and I'm like, this is a big deal because it happens the day after what we call the vote. And all of a sudden he's getting all these questions asked. Well, how come Doug don't talk? How come Doug don't talk? Well, how come this person don't talk? I don't know. So we all talked about it. We were watching it and we were chiming in and we all had the same statement, right? Which was, man, you can't really buy anything until Dougie Fresh himself talks, right?
Right.
I mean, how did you guys feel when it first came out? I mean, this is interesting. We're talking extortion. We're talking your job is on the line. I don't know. What do you guys, anybody got any thoughts here? This was interesting. This is as the world turns right here. This is good stuff.
Yeah, so I go back to, I think, 2 episodes ago, I think,
Yeah.
or maybe 3, when it came out that Sloan took another job down in Santa Monica.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at him for that. Santa Monica, nice.
And I said right here on the podcast, I said, that's very interesting, and the timing is very suspicious that it came out after our vote.
You did say it.
Right.
You
And,
did
and
say it.
I said 2 things. I said either he quit or he was pushed out.
That's what he said.
Right. And
That's
then
what he
now
said.
it comes out a few weeks after that there's this meeting that happens, the supposed allegations of
Well, let
extortion.
me
So-
read because
Yeah.
the man himself did report on this. He said on the morning of April 22nd, I spoke to council president in his office. This is Nelson Esparza. This was the exchange. Nelson Esparza. I'm just going to cut to the chase. Well, I guess pleasantries are gone. I mean, how are you doing? How's the wife? How's the kids? You know, you're looking forward to Santa Monica. You know, you're going to get a beach house. I mean, pleasantries are gone. How much coffee? I'm going to cut just to the chase. I'm standing between you and you losing your job. From now on, you are only to work for the council majority. Can somebody tell me who?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I can. It's the same old song again. The same as Soria, Arias, Maxwell, and Esparza. And if you want the city to change, then don't vote the same. Somebody needs to take that.
that's pretty good.
Somebody needs to take that. I just gave somebody their new slogan. You're welcome. #Ant. All right, here we go. He says, if you want to keep your job, you got to work for the council majority. We know who that is. So what do I do if the others ask me to do something? Come and talk to me. What is this, a mob boss? Is this Hoffa? Come on, is this Don Corleone? I mean, what's going on here? What is going on? So he says, so where is Luis on this? Shout out to Chavez. Yo, man, what's going on, bro? I mean, he literally says your name. This is what they think of you. This is what's crazy. I guess no puro la raza right here, right? Remember, I don't know, man. I guess you're gone now. You're going to have to come to the pocho side over here where they don't even think you're Mexican or something. I don't know. And I love Nelson Esparza's response. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. End of the conversation.
Hey, what day did they vote on them butting in on our sale and all that? And when the city said they wanted to do the illegal thing and buy the Tower Theater, what day?
Oh, you talking about the council vote?
Yeah. What
that
was
was April 21st. That was a Thursday.
and that was
Friday the 22nd.
Friday the
next day?
22nd.
The
very next day.
morning of Friday the 22nd. We couldn't even make it to the afternoon. You know, at least let them get to lunch.
Look,
I mean, just lunch. Come on, people. Lunch.
I forget who it was that came out. I think the night of that vote, and somebody had spoke it up and said that Doug Sloan looked frustrated.
He did.
On the podcast, you can hear what I said.
Okay.
They made this guy who looks extremely smart look rattled
They did.
because
You're right.
he's sitting there going, "How do I cover the city and how do I cover these council members at the same time?"
Right. I love how we just keep referencing our own podcast.
The Not Offended
really-
podcast, it drops every Monday.
and Mike doing everything he can to always drop our podcast. There you go. That's good, Mike. Way to go. We're not sponsored by anybody,
we
but this is
said
the way
it.
to get
Yeah.
sponsored.
We said it back then, Mike. You said it back then, so it was real fishy. And
It was.
So Doug looks frustrated during this exchange that happens between him and
Caught off
Carbasi.
guard. He looks caught off guard.
Right.
He has to
Right.
he has to sit up there and go, almost as a city attorney, yeah, I kind of approved on this, but not on behalf. I don't know, and so he's frustrated.
Trying not to lose. What is it? His bar? Is that what?
Yeah, I don't know what he was.
Yeah. Trying not to,
Well, it's behind closed doors, so yeah, you can't really say a
No,
lot.
but
No.
somebody said that when
Right.
he's answering the questions about what happened behind closed doors in the closed door session, that he was very much close to doing something that was going to harm him in his professional career.
Right.
Right, and so I believe the council majority was probably pretty upset at him for speaking, answering Carbasi's questions in
Yeah.
the way he did.
Who was there? Was it one?
Oh, we're
person?
gonna get to that. Yeah, no, we're gonna get to that because that's how we're gonna close it out here in a second. But I just think it's interesting. Let's recap. City manager, gone. City attorney, gone. The city point person for the homelessness, HB's, gone.
Chief of staff.
Chief is, bro, I'm telling you, hello. What is going on at the city? There is a shaking going on at the city. It's like everybody's saying, I got to get as far away from this as possible. So I think it's interesting. Let's just recap just for 1 second. Tommy Escueda, who was the city manager, is the one who gave us the original letter that said there would be no problem for incidental use at the Tower Theater. A couple of weeks later, fires back another letter that says we can't. This is all very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. We're just trying to tell you, unless you want things to stay the same, you got to vote for change, right? So think about that. Always think about that. Keep that in the back of your mind. So let's jump in. Let's just literally segue this to the next thing. I have a question I think everybody wants to know the answer to. We can't come up with the answer. It's not for us. But I think we can discuss a possible solutions, which is this. Do you think, going on this extortion allegation, right? Do you think the city should be able to make these types of deals behind closed doors where there's obviously no accountability to the people? Do you think the city should be able to do these types of deals behind closed doors and hide behind NDAs?
Well, I mean, it's easy for us to answer this, but I'll speak on behalf of.
Well, you're a taxpayer.
The taxpayer. Yes. That's where I was going. So a lot of taxpayers are. I mean, from what I'm hearing, is that they're pretty upset of the way it was voted on, the way that they're on the hook for any future litigation, all the attorney fees, and just how this deal is structured. And so, and without a whole lot of answers, I think if they at least came out and said. Here were the details of how we came up with this. Here's how the deal is structured. I think they would be a little bit more comfortable if there was some transparency. Even last week we went to the council meeting. Thursday, they were going to subpoena Lawrence, right?
And shout out real quick, Councilman Corbasi, who's running against Soria. Which why you'd vote for her? I don't know. No accountability, reckless spending. I mean, if you live on that side, I'd definitely vote for Corbasi myself, right? Just if I lived on that side, which I don't, so I don't really have a say. But he, again, says, let's subpoena Lawrence. Let's make him talk about this deal. And what happens?
Yeah, and his whole thing was, I just want some transparency about this deal for the people. So let's bring Lawrence up here and ask him some questions, right? The 4 council members, the 4, voted to table the part of the agenda and take it out.
Oh, it's Miguel.
Yeah.
I think we should table it. Okay, everybody will vote? All right, gone. Yeah. But what do you guys think? Behind closed doors, should you just be able to spend money like that? I mean, you pay taxes in Fresno. Talk to me.
I think I actually asked you guys this question because I wasn't sure. I was like, should you have closed sessions that are about these certain topics, or should we be able to hear like what's going on?
Right.
And like, I just don't know. I personally don't know enough about government, how it works, to know what's the purpose behind that and who is it protecting doing it this way. Because we are voting them in the office and they're supposed to represent us. And then if they don't do a good job, obviously you're supposed to vote them out. But obviously people are upset, but there's still not people to come and, take Miguel's seat. There's no one there, that actually really run against them. So,
well, there are some people running against them.
Well, yeah, that are actually going to win. No one thinks
they ain't got it.
Yeah, they ain't got a chance to. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, shout out. They're at least trying.
I'm not a Miguel fan, but that's what's in front of me. You look at it, and that's what it is.
Okay. All right, moving on. Yeah, Mike, you were gonna say.
I wish there was some type of middle ground, because I understand that there are times where, you want to be able to hash things out behind closed doors.
Okay.
But they don't have to give any reasoning. So on our first vote on the 21st, one of the things that frustrated me was, and I wanted to say it in a nice way, I have a hard time with that sometimes, was have the balls to say why you voted the way you voted.
Yeah.
So Tyler Maxwell just goes, yes.
Right.
Right. And then Nelson, yes. Whatever you want, Esmeralda, whatever you want, Miguel. Okay, but put your name on it. Why is it that you are voting this way? There's no transparency there. I mean, I understand that there's a level of I can't share everything, but there's no middle ground. So how did you come up with the $1 million? How did you come up with the interest rate? Well, how do you even do these things? You just
I actually got that answer for you though. Oh, I do have that answer for you.
Let's just pick a number.
No. It has everything to do with what Sequoia pays already. If you look at the brochure, and it tells you what the lease agreement is currently still, and all you got to do is do simple math. the loan that they gave him for 30 years at 3.5%, their payment doesn't change. I'm not a genius, but it's just simple math. So Sequoia, I don't know. I mean, I wasn't there, but I suppose Sequoia went in and said, we don't want to pay a penny more than what we're paying right now, because they've never proven they've had the money to even buy their own building. Remember, this is the White is Right deal, right? This is the STEMI package given out by the same people again, right? So if you want to keep the same, then keep doing what you're doing. But if you want change, you got to vote that way, right? So that's how you got that number. But here's the deal. This is interesting, and this needs to be on record, because unless you watch the city council meeting, and this is very important, Doug Sloan is asked the question by Corbasi, who was in the room. Whose deal is this? Whose deal is? Can you read the exact statements, please? We actually had a court reporter there, and we went ahead and transcribed it. And listen to this. This is the interaction.
So this is
Who's in the room?
where interaction between Carbasi and Sloan. And Carbasi goes, "Can we know who from the city participated in the mediation?" Sloan says, "I can't say it was legal. I can say it was legal staff, 1 or 2 council members from for partial times, and some staff. I don't want to get into the details." Okay.
Backpedal. Oh, bro, I'm gonna get in trouble, man.
I'm telling you, it's like some Daryl Reeves backpedaling going on right here, man. You got to pop the hips here.
He's like, is this gonna cost me my job?
So Sloan's kind of he's
Stop asking. What he's saying is stop asking me.
Carbasi goes on to ask. He says, "Okay, can you say which council members participated, or were there for every now and then?" Sloan says it was primarily council member Arias. Okay, he said that.
I didn't know he dabbled in real estate, but I'm just saying, just asking.
So it gets more interesting. Carbasi goes, "Okay, who's the second?" Sloan says council member Soria was there part of the time. Okay, so Miguel's there most of the time. Soria's there part of the time. Okay, Carbasi then goes to this. He goes, "Part of the time, understood. Okay, all right. Can you answer this? Were there any financial experts or real estate experts participating at any time during mediation?" Sloan says, "Not on our behalf."
Man, here you got, I guess that would be Soria and Arias Realty and Investments. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he'd be mad that her name was first, so we'll go Arias Soria Real Estate and Investments, however they like it. I just don't want to get in the middle of that. I don't want to start a beef between them two. But I was just interesting to know that really what I'm hearing Corbasi say is this was their deal. This is what they came up with. And all they did was get Esparza and Maxwell to go along with this deal. And I just think it's interesting because there's controversy out there saying that, it was nothing but, the city attorney and the city manager who came up with this deal. No, let's set the record straight. I'm telling you right now, City of Fresno, this is who brokered the deal on behalf of you, is Miguel Arias and Esmeralda Soria. They're the ones that brokered this deal. They're the ones that are indemnifying. They're the ones that are paying overpriced, right, for this piece of property. And we're going to see how this turns out, but there's no one else to blame. This is really how it went down.
I think it's interesting. If you're in the room when that's taking place, it made Miguel and Esmeralda look really bad.
Right.
This exchange. And I think that Doug Sloan, Dougie Fresh, I think he could have said, "I'm not answering it."
Oh, that's a good point.
I think he could,
was he obligated to answer? I never thought of that.
I think he could have been like, you know what? This is closed session information. We're not going to get into that. Because he knows how to navigate that better than they do. Carbasi would have backed off.
True.
With his personality, Carbasi would have backed off.
It's possible.
And he respects Sloan.
He does.
See, that's something different than the other four. They don't have any respect for anybody. So Carbasi would have respected. Now, that's the 21st. Esmeralda looks bad. Miguel looks bad. Sloan could have done something differently. The 22nd, he walks into his office and says he's not going to go down like that anymore. Oh, man, that smells like extortion.
Bro, they're saying it has nothing to do with the tower. I don't know. Bishop, you've been quiet. Talk to us, Bishop. The sage that you are, what do you think over here?
No, I mean, Sloan says it had to do with that. Had to do with that. Also, on the other side, he did say, I was looking maybe to go to Long Beach. I mean, not Long Beach, but where's he going? Santa Monica.
Santa Monica.
Hey, but you blame him for Santa Monica for real, man.
But I don't think they're related. I mean, maybe they are, but
hey, But are you mad at Santa Monica though, man? I'm not mad at.
He's getting $100,000 more. He gets moved to Santa Monica.
Hey, but you need $100,000 more if you believe you live in Santa
I was thinking the
Monica.
same thing. Maybe he'll live outside the city a little bit or something, you know.
But man,
Hey, to not deal with Miguel and Esmeralda, I
that's
done
what
that
I was
for
getting ready
free.
to say, listen, man, listen.
You gotta give me $100,000. I'll do
yo.
it for free.
Let's keep it 100 right here. I'm just saying. If you're gonna pay me $100,000 more and I ain't got to deal with the same old people anymore, I'm going to Santa Monica, y'all. Take me. Oh yes, please. I mean, I'm on the beach. I got me a little sweet tea. Life is good. I show up every now and then, be like, hey, y'all don't want to do that. It's gonna get you in trouble.
Trust me, they do that in Fresno. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's gonna get you in trouble. Hey, man. Hey, Doug Sloan. I know I call you Dougie Fresh, man. That means I like you. That's really what it is. But because I like Dougie Fresh. But I'm just saying, man, I ain't mad at you. Go have fun. I don't know. I don't know if you drink wine, but drink your wine on the beach. Take your wife for a walk, man. You know what I mean?
Hey.
Like, go out and do a couple things. It's gonna be amazing down there. I'm happy for you.
And good for Sloan for coming
for
out.
Sloan.
You know, and coming out and just confirming it.
And I
right?
think they're mad at that. I think they're mad. Hey, yo, hold on. The most unexpected, unassuming person chin checked you. Think about it. Doug Sloan don't come out and verify this and corroborate this, right? Doug
it's
Sloan
nothing.
stays silent. It's nothing.
Brett Favre will just make a big mess
Oh,
again.
come on. Hey, Doug Sloan came with a haymaker. Bam! It said, whoop! I mean, come on.
It's interesting. So where's Esmeralda in this? How come she's not commenting?
Ooh.
Where's Maxwell in this? How come he's not commenting?
Ooh.
Miguel probably
Maxwell's hurt. Maxwell's hurt. Remember the scab? You know,
Oh.
he real hurt out of anyone. He didn't want to talk about it again. You know,
He said that. What was his opening remarks again? It's a scab and...
No,
Yeah.
I
We don't wanna
feel
pick at the
I feel like
scab
we're
with the
picking at a
tower.
scab again.
yeah,
Whatever, dude.
yeah. His
You're
feelings
whack.
are hurt.
Oh,
yeah,
you're whack.
bless his heart.
Oh, bless his heart. That's nice of you, Bishop. What a sage. Okay. Well, hey, guys, I tell you what. Anybody, how about we do this? How about we end the podcast? Any bold predictions? I mean, I don't even know how to predict it this time. Like, is somebody else going to quit? What do we got? Anybody got anything? Let's just throw it out there so we can once again reference our podcast because this is all we seem to be doing here. Has anybody got bold predictions? Does this go anywhere? Is it turn into the authorities? Anybody got any bold predictions? Anybody want to say anything?
It goes nowhere.
It goes nowhere. A street to nowhere, huh?
Nope, no proof, no
Oh,
evidence.
man.
This is what I would like.
Okay.
I think it'd be cool to see Esparza lose his election.
Oh.
I gotta find out who's running against him.
Courtney Westfall.
Okay, I don't know who she is, but shout out to Courtney wherever you at.
Shout out to Courtney wherever you at. We got to get.
Keep trying
gotta
harder.
get to know you. Yeah.
Keep trying harder. Whatever you're doing, try harder.
Okay.
Because I think
What a
it'd be,
sage.
I-
What a sage.
yeah.
Just got to get through the primaries.
Because I think it'd be interesting to see how the 4 become 3 and what happens after that.
Man, wouldn't that be? Oh, what they say? A storybook ending. Wouldn't that just be great?
But look, man, when you're unethical, you're immoral, you've got no values, you're a sucker for money, eventually you fall. So,
yeah.
The shot clock eventually hits all zeros. So Miguel be gone, and whether it be tomorrow or in 4 years, adios. You're going to go do something else corrupt. Esmeralda, her career going to be over because she's going to lose to Carbassi, and then she's going to do something else corrupt. So it's like whether or not they just stop doing stuff corrupt that hurts us now or later. Shot clock eventually hits zero. We'll see you later. There it is. That's
shot clock. Oh, on time. That's pretty
Hey,
good.
Mike, that was my shot clock, but I'm gonna let Bill get a chance here. You always seem to have a moment, bro. You always seem to have a moment, like.
Because I can't talk about
I
people.
feel like I'm your therapist. Like I just want to leave my chair back, get a little pad, and just do what they do when
Look,
I'm in therapy. They just make
hey,
little notes.
Let me say this. Okay, let me say this. The reason why we're pastors is because we love people.
That's true. Yeah.
And I'm tired of seeing people get stepped on. I'm tired of people's reputations get dragged through the mud.
Right.
I'm tired of the fake news.
Right.
I'm tired of people getting away with stuff.
Right.
It's just, it invigorates. It makes me so angry.
Right.
And so, yeah, I come a little heated sometimes because what they're doing is wrong.
Right.
Period. What they do to people is wrong. And eventually, you're going to get exposed.
Pastor, I want to go back to a life with no drama. When is that going to happen?
Remember the good old days?
I was-
Hey, nobody knew who we were. We're able to go to the movies together. We'd eat a doghouse. We'd go to a Grizzly game. Nobody knew who we were. Nobody. Like it was sucker free Saturday. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was great.
I mean, that tweet and stuff came out Friday. I'm like, man, I just don't want the drama. Like, man, I didn't have drama like this in the high school.
I
All my
didn't.
life, I avoided it.
I got to make a video.
Yeah,
I don't want to make a video.
Like, man, Hey, sorry.
Mary J said no more drama. I'm down. No more drama.
I'll love
I'm
it.
down.
I will love
See,
it.
they signed
Yeah.
up for this.
Yeah, I didn't sign up for it.
They're politicians. Like, they signed up for this. This is the game to them.
Yeah.
Right.
This is life for us.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you.
I never been called a thug in my life. People don't see me think a thug. They're like a skinny black dude. I ain't afraid of him. And it was like, now I'm intimidating. Like, what the heck?
Oh, yeah, when you-
I'm part of a posse.
No, when you racist, of course they're going to call you that.
Oh, okay.
They're all racist.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's true. I've been called a thug.
Oh, okay.
And part of a posse. It's true. You haven't. Bill.
Yeah,
Bill, thoughts as
I
we
think your
close.
question was a bold prediction.
Yeah, we have a bold prediction.
Bring us back around.
I'm trying as the moderator here. I'm trying.
I really think it's somebody from the inside, some staffer or something. If there is corruption going on down there, right? I
A
think it's-
whistleblower?
I don't know. I think the fact that Doug Sloan, the city attorney, who knows better not to talk, cross the line and talk about certain things, the fact that he was so frustrated with working with the four, he came out and
said
said,
so.
the city manager cited before he left for South Carolina the frustration with working with these four council members, and so, the two city employees there that came out and said, I really think it's going to be somebody from the inside that maybe comes out and says, look, this is what's really going on. I'm tired of it. Because if they're treating other people in this without respect, they may be treating some of their staff or somebody, I don't know. And so maybe somebody that gets frustrated comes out and says something. So.
Well, you heard it here first on the Not Offended podcast. I got a bold prediction for you. Church is going to be going on at the Tower this Sunday, 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. The bishop will be bringing the word. Y'all need to show up. It's going to be fire. It's going to be amazing. We want to thank everybody who tunes in, who shares this. You mean the world to us. Thank you so much. This is the only way we're able to get it out there. What's really going on behind the scenes, what's really taking place, what's really transpiring. Thank you for everybody who's come up to me and said, hey, we're praying for you. We understand you're up against it, but please don't give up the fight. To quote my man over here, The Token, there's no quit in us. So keep praying for us. Keep sharing this. We love you guys. We'll see you next week on the Not Offended podcast. We're out. Peace.